Very good morning to all. I am Samir Khalid here, and I am with my teammates Rakshitra GP, Sirish P. Rajan, and Sudeep KS. We are here presenting batch 4 of the final year project teams under the guidance of Professor Prasanna Patil. We welcome you all to the phase 2 milestone 2 presentation of our project with the title Assistive System for Visionless Earthling using ML. So let me start with a small introduction about our project. Our project, as the title says, aims at providing assistance to blind by voice assistance to help them know about the whereabouts of the objects in front of them with the help of Android smartphone camera and TensorFlow object detection API.
Now let's look into the software requirement specification of our project. While designing software solutions for any of the problem statements, we have to assess the requirements before design so as to avoid the redesign in the further stages. Software requirement specification is nothing but a description of a software system to be developed, which lays out the functional and non-functional requirements and may include set of use cases describing interaction between user and software solution. Uh, let's first understand the functional requirement of our project. Functional requirements describes the functionality or the services that the system is expected to provide. Our project includes the functional requirements as shown. First, the camera API. Using the camera API, the camera of the smartphone is turned on and the preview is given on the screen. Next one is the object detection, where TensorFlow Lite is used to detect objects in the preview and is given with a respective label. The third one is the voice alert, which using text to speech API reads out the output of modules like object detection, distance calculation, and direction identification modules. Now let's have a look at the non-functional requirements. Non-functional requirements specifies how a system is supposed to be. The non-functional requirements of our project are as shown. First one is reliability. That means the application should be reliable in providing 24/7 uninterrupted service. Blind Assistant app allows the user to detect objects at any time. Next one is security. In this application, no sensitive data is shared. So authentication of the user is not necessary. Next one is usability, where blind assistant can be accessed easily and it reduces time and effort of blind to detect object and get rid of obstacles. And the last one is availability, where the application must never be down and provide object details without interruption in service.
Now, let us have a look at the design details. Here is a block diagram which gives us an information about major modules which are there in our project. Our project is an Android application which is majorly divided into 4 modules, that is object detection module, distance calculation module, direction determination module, and audio output module. The output of the object detection module, distance calculation module, and direction determination module is given as input to the audio output module, which in turn generates the audio output. This is the data flow diagram of our project. A data flow diagram is a graphical representation of the flow of data through an information system. Here, first user requests for camera permission. If the camera permission is not granted, then a message is displayed. If the permission is granted, then the object detection tries to match tries to match with the model which is trained using the dataset and retrieves information about the object. And after detecting the object, the distance calculation and direction identification with that particular object is done, and the output of all three modules like object detection and distance calculation and direction identification is given in terms of voice alert to the user. Here is the use case diagram of our project. The system is analyzed to gather its functionalities. Use cases are prepared and actors are identified. As you can see here, user is the only actor who interacts with the functionalities such as granting permission for camera API, object detection, and voice alert. This is the sequence diagram representing our project. The sequence diagram is nothing but it is used to model the collaboration of object based on the time sequence, and that means what steps should be happen in sequence one after the other. In this diagram, the first user request for the permission of the camera API. Once the permission is granted, we are landed to the home layout of the application, which is nothing but preview of what's being captured in the camera. Once we get the preview, the object detection takes place by referring to the model which is trained using the database, and the object is detected. After the object is detected, the direction and distance are identified and is given in terms of voice alert to the user.
We are making use of single shot detector algorithm for object detection using TensorFlow. The figure here shows the layer architecture of single shot detector. To the extreme left is the input image with resolution 300 into 300, which is given as input to VGG16 network. This VGG16 network is used in initial step to extract feature maps. These 6 layers are 6 convolutional layers, which will perform classification object detection task. SSD makes 8,732 predictions for every single object. That means for every object, SSD makes 8,732 bounding boxes. Then the duplicate predictions are removed. SSD checks confidence score of each box and then takes the top 200 predictions. Now, why SSD? Why did we choose SSD while there are other object detection algorithms out there? This can be answered by comparison of algorithms shown in the table below. The accuracy of object detection can be measured in units of map, that is mean average precision. The higher the score, the higher the accuracy. Compared to YOLO and faster RCNN algorithms, SSD has higher map score. Then comes the FPS, that is frames per second. The SSD can detect objects in 46 frames per second. While training a single object, the SSD makes use of 8,732 bounding boxes, that is providing more accurate results. And SSD can detect objects in low resolution frames compared to other algorithms.
Now let us know how far we have progressed. We have now completed the object detection module, and now we are working on including models trained with large data sets for detecting more number of objects. This is how we are going to demonstrate our application. After completing the development of application, we will generate the Android package file, which is then transferred to an Android smartphone and then installed, which on launching is expected to work in a way of successful achieving our objectives by providing voice output. Thank you.
Okay, go to that SSD slide. That algorithm. Yes. So what do you mean by that bounding box? I'm not clear with that.
Ma'am, for example,
If
this is an object,
okay.
while training, we will provide a box
Mm.
like this, we call it as a ground truth box.
Okay.
While training,
Mm-hmm.
what SST does is it, for each object, it draws many possible bounding boxes like this in random,
Okay.
like this,
Okay.
about 8,732 bounding boxes. That
Okay.
means
SSD in particular, it will create 8,732 bounding
732 bounding
boxes.
boxes.
Okay. Okay.
And it takes top 200 predictions to learn. That means if this is the ground truth box and this is the bounding box, it has
Bounding box.
about intersection of union almost more than 50% compared to this
Yeah.
ground truth box.
Correct.
Okay, such boxes, top boxes, which has more confidence score, that is more percentage of intersection of over union, that is overlapping. Those are taken while identifying the object and also while training the object.
Okay. So you're making use of that CNN algorithm, right?
It is actually based on CNN, single shot detector,
Okay. Okay.
because
What
it
is the
also
difference between ANN and CNN?
in artificial neural network,
Hmm.
we will be having weighted layers, but in CNN it is known as convolving layers.
Okay. What's the difference?
What's the difference in the sense, while detecting the object, that means in ANN
Hmm.
we cannot make use of images. That is
Okay.
for computation. By making use of CNN, we can make use
So
of
the last layer of CNN is fully connected, whereas in
Have you Googled it just now? Because the Google gives the same answer. Which one you're telling? Okay, anyways, fine. Uh, so what is the minimum distance like for this object detection?
mm, ma'am,
Sorry, not minimum, maximum distance.
that is that depends upon the camera of the smartphone that the user is using.
So it is completely dependent on the device, that camera.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay. Okay, fine. That's it from my side.
Any questions from students? No questions from students? Any questions from any other faculties, please? Still we have 14 minutes, 13 to 14 minutes. Okay, go to the last slide. Sir, ಹೇಳಿ sir.
ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ ಇದು?
ಸರ್, ಅದು ಮೊಬೈಲ್ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರೋದು. ಅಂದ್ರೆ
ಏನು ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ?
ಇವಾಗ
ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಯೂಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಟ್?
ಈಗ ಗೂಗಲ್ ಅಸಿಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಟೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಟು ಸ್ಪೀಚ್ APIs ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಇವಾಗ ಬ್ಲೈಂಡ್ಸೂನು ಆಂಡ್ರಾಯ್ಡ್ ಸ್ಮಾರ್ಟ್ಫೋನ್ನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡೋಷ್ಟು ಕೇಪಬಲ್ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ದೇ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಯೂಸ್ ವಿತ್ ದೇರ್ ವಾಯ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಬೈ telling the Google Assistant to open this application, they can make use of this application to get to know about the objects or obstacles which are in front of them and can be aware.
ಓಕೆ.
And one more thing, for final demo, like you are planning to show the working model, right? So you will create a
Yes, ma'am.
.apk file and then you will
Yes,
deploy
ma'am.
it, right?
Yes, ma'am. We have already generated progress APK file. That is
Okay.
here. I can share it in a group if you can check the progress. You can install it in your smartphone and check whether the object detection is properly working or not, and suggest us with some guidelines about its
No,
work.
no. Her question.
Yeah.
The final demo.
Yes, final demo is in terms of APK file, which we install in the smartphone.
Okay. Okay. Fine. Huh. That's what I wanted to know. Okay. Fine. Huh.